So I leave these floppy on the ends so that I can piece this in, and if there's any wiggle room I can adjust so they're tight. So if I have to, I can put a shim in here or here so everything is squared up and nice. Okay, that's nice and square. What's out there? See something? Squirrel. This one's a little crooked. That is pretty. Look at that door. Awesome. Don't have a handle, so you gotta... we don't want to look in there, but... looks pretty darn nice. There was a comment, Spencer Mountain. My friends from Spencer Mountain sent me a message today, and if you haven't yet, check out their channel. It's a couple. They're working on their property up in the mountains, and they are very creative. And we've been kind of following each other from I guess 3 years now. Anyway, we chat back and forth, and they Debbie made a comment about the last episode, and I showed off the hooks at the top of the landing, and I was showing off my pants, and she said, do you work with no pants on? And I'm like, yeah, well, I work in my PJs. So that was funny and made me laugh today. Thanks for that, Debbie. And Steve, if you were part of that conversation. So Kim and I are taking a little vacation next week. So we'll be gone for a little while. We're going to go see her brother out in Virginia. So we're going to take a road trip. I don't know how much of that will show off. Probably not much. I'll give you maybe some pictures. But then we're going to come back, and we're going to spend a few days on the tail end of our vacation up here. And hopefully quite a bit more work will get done on this place. A lot more of this, a lot more finishing touches. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Phone's on.
Yes.
I'm watching TV. I got
All right, back from our little went on vacation a couple weeks ago now, I guess. For all you snowbirds, it's still winter here in northern Wisconsin. We let the snow get out of control here. It snowed pretty bad right before we headed out on our trip to Virginia. It's kind of impassable at this point, and it would take me a long time to plow it out with John Boy. So what I've done, at the end of the long driveway, I've shoveled out a couple parking. I'm working on Kim's parking spot because she's on her way up. But Lloyd and I came up last night and had to shovel out a spot for the truck. And then we had to, walk everything in. And I have some building supplies. We're building out this closet this episode. So just to talk a little bit about that, I got these cheap cubes, and I just assembled them. You guys don't need to see that. I assembled them, and we're going to put a shelf across the top with a hanger bar across the whole thing. And then I'm going to trim it out. So you've probably seen that done on other HGTV shows. It's just a quick way to make those things. It would take me, quite a few hours to build shelving like that. So, and we want it to be white anyway. So we'll have some nice cube storage. What's going to happen on that eventually is I'm going to have one door that covers this half, the electrical side, and then that will stay closed most of the time. And then this half will stay open and exposed. We're going to have some hooks on this side. Or actually, the bar is going to go all the way across. So I'll have some hooks, or we can hang a couple of coats on that side too. So you'll be able to see this half of the closet will stay open all the time so we can easily access stuff. And then when we need to access the electrical side or anything that's hung on that side, we'll just slide this door over. Now that's not going to happen for a while, but what is going to happen today is I'm going to kind of get this fleshed out and tacked in place and potentially some trim on there. Kim's on her way. Right now I got to go finish shoveling, so I'm going to take you with and show you what we've been dealing with. It's going to be 50 degrees next week, so hopefully makes this snow go away. Thanks for tuning back in. Sorry it's been a little while. I slacked off on this place because of vacation and just it's been busy at home. We're doing a home project. We're redoing our kitchen. I'll give you some pictures of that, but that's going to be a process too. I'm not trying to do that real quick either. You know how I like to do things. Super windy out here. So I got Kim's spot shoveled out and the truck moved back. I got to bring in all my tools. The tools that I took home to work on the kitchen. So last night it took me about 7 loads to get unpacked and shoveling and everything, getting the place warmed up. It took hours. Lloyd and I just hung out for the evening and didn't do much, just kind of got situated. But yeah, now the path that I had, a nice packed snowshoed path from my travels back and forth, is all drifted over. So next year we might have to put up some snow fence. So I'm gonna go head back in and keep working on these shelves. Kim should be up in a few hours. It's spring this week, I think. Yeah, coming up. At least the sun is shining. Back inside. So what I'm doing is I'm attaching this to the floor. I'm attaching them together with screws, And then I'm putting in some spacers and little pieces that I can, use to attach to the wall, because this thing's kind of chintzy. So what I'm doing now is I have those spacer boards, and that's bringing my hanger rod out far enough to get past, and then the rod will span the whole distance from one side to the other. So I shimmed it up on the bottom, screwed it together, and I have that attached. So it's nice and square and ready for these to go on. Okay, whenever I cut this kind of wood, this nice wood, which is made in America, by the way, in Rapid City, South Dakota. Nice job, guys. So whenever I cut this, I actually tape it off with painter's tape, so it gets a nice edge and it doesn't flake off and chip. And I think it did a pretty good job. That's the tape right there. So I'm going to take that tape off and set this in place. Like a glove. Look at that. Now we can put the dirty dog towels up there. More in here. Warming up my generator in the truck at the end of the driveway so I can run my grinder to cut this pole. Generator won't start, so I gotta warm it up. This has happened before. I don't run it very often, so. Totally missed the action on that one. I just got this pole stuck in and trimmed this out. Looking pretty nice. Need to set these nails and do some filler, but this closet's looking pretty good.
Voila! Come on, Lottie.